Today I'm testing a fragrance for you. This is an old and discontinued one, but you can still get it on eBay. It's not that difficult to find. It's called Versace's Blonde, and I've just got this miniature. Look at the colour of that. It's so rich and sweet. It's based around tuberose and it gets compared to Madonna's Truth or Dare, but generally people say Versace Blonde is better. Now I've smelt Truth or Dare. I owned a bottle very briefly, but I gave it to a friend. I'm not a massive tuberose fan, so this is a challenge for me, but for the love of the people that are kind enough to watch me, you lot, I'm testing it out. And I was just so curious when I read the reviews. I had to get myself a little bottle. It's only cost me about £5 or so. So it's a really great one to have in my collection regardless. So I'm going to dab some on now, and then I'll come back to you a little bit later with some musings and mumblings and general crap that has come out of my head. See you in a bit. So I'm back. It's the end of the day. It's, what is it, 6:30. So I applied the fragrance around about 7 AM I think it was, and let's see if it's still here. Yep, definitely still there. Not mega strong though, probably just a skin scent now. But that's by the by. Let's talk about how it smells. So when you first apply it, there's my little miniature there. I'm just going to chuck a tiny bit back on the back of my hand here, just to give you that very first impression. So when you first smell it, it really is a powerhouse, and it does smell old-fashioned in an 80s 90s kind of way. I would put it in the same category as the likes of Lulu by Cacharel, and what was the other one? Got it over there actually, 1 minute. And this one, which is called Chafali Fleur Rare, and I think this is, it's either Yves Rocher or Avon. I think it's Yves Rocher, but it is similar in that it's a really heady, exotic, strong, sticky floral. This Versace Blonde smells a bit like bubblegum, but it's not just a sweet innocent bubblegum smell. It has immediately an underlying dark muskiness, so it doesn't smell like a nice white musk like you get from the Body Shop. It has this kind of dark, sticky muskiness, if that makes any sense. I believe people would call it animalic, but I can't quite put my finger on what's animalic in the opening. It just smells a tiny bit naughty. I can see why it's called blonde, because blondes have more fun, and I think what kind of fun we're talking about is probably nocturnal fun. It definitely smells like a fragrance that someone would choose who is very open and willing, shall we say. Basically, it's slutty. Versace Blonde smells slutty. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Well, that just depends on the mood that you're in when you choose to wear it, I think. It's absolutely a tuberose fragrance, and tuberose is a note that I don't get on with brilliantly well. I don't really have any fragrances with a strong tuberose note in them. To me, tuberose comes off like a big bunch of flowers, like too many flowers is what tuberose smells like to me. Just super ridiculously floral, but also fruity at the same time. And this definitely has a fruity feel, so it feels like a fruity floral but with a real naughty backbone. In the dry down, so this opening is a little bit bombastic, and I'm really glad that I dabbed it on. I think that had I sprayed it on from a proper bottle, it would be overwhelming. It's in the same vein. The strength and the overpowering nature of the fragrance is along the lines of Alien by Thierry Mugler, or I had a, what was it called? Violet Blonde. Yeah, funnily enough, Violet Blonde from Tom Ford. It's that very in-your-face, loud kind of fragrance. But it definitely does simmer down. So this is the very last remains of it now. So there's not a great deal there. I get a sticky, slightly savoury tobacco kind of feel from the far dry down. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? So you get your opening notes of your bubblegum like tuberose, maybe some jasmine as well. Sweet and fruity, definitely got fruity facets. It smells a little bit apricotish, but there's also a depth, a deep dark depth, like kind of like a patchouli, but not too much patchouli, something along those lines that makes it a bit more interesting and very vintage smelling. But then what happens is this vanilla starts to get stronger, and that makes it, to my nose, a little bit more wearable. And the tuberose winds her neck in a little bit. I mean, it always remains tuberosey, but it definitely calms down. Throughout the journey of the fragrance today, I've noticed that it smells of like a sweet tobacco in the further dry down. So we got the vanilla, some kind of sweet fruity tobacco, and the kind of earthiness of the patchouli, some sexiness which I can't quite put my finger on, and overall lots of layers to this fragrance. This is a very interesting fragrance. It is vintage and it smells old. It does smell a bit dated. It's not going to be for everyone. I had my friend Kerry Ann at work, she's only 24, she smelt it and she said, oh no, it's not for me, it's not something I would wear. And she's quite open-minded with fragrances, but I think it's not going to suit a lot of everyday noses. If you're into your vintages, then you absolutely must give it a shot. If you love tuberose, then what the hell are you doing? Go out there and get yourself something like that. You can get on eBay for, you know, not too much money, and see if you like it. I think tuberose lovers, it is a must-have. As I said earlier, it gets compared with Truth or Dare by Madonna, but most people prefer the Versace blonde. I don't remember Truth or Dare well enough to be able to compare the two, but I think from memory, Truth or Dare was definitely probably cleaner and a bit sharper, and this has got a lot of depth to it, which I think is great. I almost smell a tiny hint of smoke in there. It's really interesting. So I think I'm gonna just leave it there because we could go on and on, but basically I definitely recommend you try it. If it sounds like it's your cup of tea, then give it a go. It's not gonna be something I'll be wearing. It's not my thing, only because I'm not mad about the tuberose. Apart from that, I've been completely comfortable wearing it. It's just I only give skin time to fragrances that I really love, and it's not a love for me. It's an interesting piece of art. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.